Damn, Daddy, I didn't know you had...
It's quite amusing, isn't it? We can't help but find humor in the situation, although deep down, we recognize that there's a kernel of truth in those memes. This is particularly true when these memes are supported by the experiences of various celebrities. You see, there are just a few of us who have had the privilege to peek behind the proverbial curtain. And where there's a curtain, you can bet there's another room hiding behind it.
There's a handful of us that get to look behind the curtain. You know, there's a curtain, there's another room, and there's a curtain, and in that room is some shit. You're like, God damn, I didn't know y'all was back here.
Things take a darker turn when you realize that Kevin's revelations barely skim the surface of the darkness lurking within these clandestine chambers.
He get they this they this videotape it. Then when he in the meeting, they play the video of him getting by like 3 niggas.
The day he referred to appears to have been Diddy, as revealed by one of the mogul's former bodyguards, Captain.
Katt Williams say, you just gotta say no to Diddy. And there's a lot of people that couldn't say no. And they probably on tape.
Speaking of Katt, there's plenty more where that came from.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you, all lies will be exposed.
The Diddy saga feels like a broken record now, with the record producer going from hot water to a frying pan. The recent revelations about his home raid have thrown him into the fire itself. These are days we never thought we'd see because, let's be honest, he's one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. But 2024 seems to be the year where the truth comes out, as Katt Williams hinted. Diddy might just become the example for other big names with questionable characters. He's faced trouble before, but now the stakes are higher. It's as if everything happening to him was foreseen by those like Katt Williams, who seem to have insider knowledge. It appears that the rapper hasn't been as cautious as he once was. How else can we explain the authorities closing in on him now? Searching a celebrity's house for crime-related reasons, especially a big-time one, is nearly impossible without solid evidence. Diddy might be facing his final days of freedom. The results of the raids on his home suggest that authorities have uncovered certain things, like a secret room for unsavory activities. This is just one of the many allegations tied to Diddy that might not surprise many people. The hip-hop world, in particular, is no stranger to stories of Diddy's extravagant parties and their darker sides. In the shadows of lavish parties lie hidden rooms where unspeakable deeds unfold. Some who've heard these stories fled in terror, while others willingly partook. But beyond those who willingly entered Diddy's soirees to engage in alleged debauchery, others were coerced against their will. This may have been the fate of Cassie and countless others who've accused the mogul of abhorrent crimes. Yet, here we are, with authorities stumbling upon eerie, disheveled rooms in the man's abode. Does this confirm the whispered rumors about him? I'll tell you this, if the tales of Diddy and his chambers were mere hearsay, would a judge have sanctioned the raid on his home? Seems improbable.
What happens is these guys open up a Pandora's box. They look for weird, exotic things, and somehow, in some way, it turns them on.
Consider this, at this very moment, can you think of anyone more controversial than Diddy? Not just in the music realm, but across the entire entertainment spectrum? You know what they say about smoke, where there's smoke, there's probably fire. It seems the flames Diddy ignited over the years are now roaring back to haunt him, with federal agents hot on his trail. In case you haven't heard, rapper Sean Diddy Combs finds himself in quite a predicament, to say the least. According to reports, homes owned by Combs in Los Angeles and Miami were raided by officials from U.S. Homeland Security on March 25. The rapper and music mogul, credited with launching the careers of artists like Biggie Smalls, Mary J. Blige, and Usher, has been embroiled in a series of accusations over the past 6 months, including SA. Now, the news is buzzing with reports that these raids are linked to a federal investigation, with search warrants in hand.
Search warrants being conducted there could indicate arrests being conducted. We just don't know at this hour specifically what that law enforcement action is.
NBC News, citing an unnamed source, reported that federal officials in Manhattan have interviewed 3 women and 1 man, with 3 additional interviews scheduled. These interviews concern allegations of solicitation, and the distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms. While it remains unconfirmed whether Combs himself is the main focus of the investigation, recent updates shed some light on the situation. A legion of federal law enforcement officers descended upon Diddy's LA residence, leaving chaos in their wake. TMZ obtained footage revealing the aftermath of Monday's raid on Diddy's Beverly Hills home. Drawers were forcibly opened, belongings strewn about, documents scattered, and safes cracked open. Agents meticulously sifted through Diddy's electronic devices, with pieces of computers and other equipment littering the floor. It's evident that they targeted hard drives, which were confiscated during the raid. It's possible that Diddy was hoarding materials for blackmail against various individuals at his home, hence the ransacking of those rooms. While you might find this idea implausible, rumors suggest that some of the women who recently accused him may have spilled information about his secrets to the authorities. Interestingly, it's not just women he was allegedly blackmailing. Katt Williams, who has been closely tied to this saga, predicted these events unfolding.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you, all lies will be exposed.
In a revealing interview with Shannon Sharpe on the Club Shay Shay podcast back in January, comedian Katt Williams dropped some major bombshells about fellow rappers and other prominent figures in the music industry. As Diddy faces multiple allegations, Williams' remarks about the rapper have stirred up a storm on social media. In a video circulating on X, formerly Twitter, Williams seemed to cryptically expose Diddy, saying, "I've got to protect my integrity in that virgin hole I was telling you about because P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you got to tell him no." He emphasized, "You got to tell him no." "I did. I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you."
I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him.
Fans might perceive Williams as injecting his comedic flair into the interview, but that's far from the truth. In fact, one might argue he toned it down a bit. Diddy has found himself in similar situations with other celebrities. The rapper has a reputation for hosting some of the most extravagant parties, always on the lookout for potential targets, much like Williams suggested. Rapper Fabulous could have been one of those targets. Despite attending numerous events over the years, it seems he feels some of those parties failed to meet their lofty expectations.
So Fab, how was your birthday, man? What was your wish for this year?
If you take a moment to observe Fabulous amidst the bustling crowd, you'll notice an unmistakable aura surrounding him. It's as if he carries an invisible weight, evoking a sense of sympathy from those who catch a glimpse. While quietly indulging in a slice of cake, he exudes an air of solitude, almost hesitant to make eye contact with those nearby.
My birthday was cool. Yeah.
To which Fab responded,
Like a good vibe more than like wanting for anything, or like, you know what I mean? So I got a cool vibe. I spent some of the time with my kids.
In response, Fabulous offered his reply. However, the reality behind Diddy's gatherings appears to be far from what meets the eye. Insights from someone privy to the inner workings of these gatherings suggest they are less about celebration and more about gathering leverage. In a recent podcast, a discerning individual shed light on the dark practices at these events. Allegedly, emerging artists are lured into these parties, drugged, subjected to inappropriate behavior, and secretly recorded. These recordings are then utilized as blackmail material,